You know, my friend John stays with his cousins. Yesterday he came late to class, and the teacher scolded him a lot. Those said cousin brothers made him finish their chores before they let him leave for school. He said they always chaper him and make him do a lot of homework. Oh no, you must feel very bad. Johnny is a very nice boy. He doesn't disobey anyone. He is very nice to his cousin brothers, despite the way they treat him. That's very nice of him. We should always forgive people for their mistakes. Have you heard the story of Cinderella? Once upon a time, there lived a young girl called Cinderella. Cinderella's mother had died, and so her father had married another woman who had two daughters. One day, Cinderella's father went to work and never returned. Cinderella was left at the mercy of her stepmother and two stepsisters, who made her do all the work of the house. Cinderella, it's morning already. Where are the breakfast? Just a moment, stepmother. I am just bringing it out. As soon as Cinderella had laid the breakfast, stepmother and stepsisters started eating it. Cinderella set her own plate too and were about to eat when her stepsister pushed her own plate away. Jack, I hate it. Yes, now that you mention it, it really is horrible. Mother, do something. Cinderella, are you trying to kill us? What kind of fruit is this? But stepmother, I have made it it's the way I always make it. How dare you argue with me? Go and make new breakfast for us. Don't you dare do anything else till I have had our breakfast. And this is what went on in their house every day. The stepmother and stepsister chaperoned Cinderella without any reason, but Cinderella loved him still and never ever complained. One day, an announcement was made in the village. Let everybody know there will be a royal ball at the palace tomorrow night, and the king's son, Prince Charming, will marry a maiden from among the guests. Everybody from the village is invited. The whole village were excited. Even Cinderella's stepmother and stepsisters couldn't stop talking about it in the house. And that is how Cinderella found out about the ball. The royal ball, Prince Charming. The whole world is invited. I will finish my work quickly so we can all go together. Wouldn't it be just wonderful? You? Who said anything about you going? You will stay here and polish our shoes till you can see your face in them. And so, with a heavy heart, Cinderella saw her stepmother and stepsisters dress up and leave for the royal ball. The next day, once they had left, she cried bitterly. Suddenly, her room lit up, and Cinderella saw the most beautiful fairy she could imagine. imagined. She held in her hand a delicate one. Who are you? Get up, child. I am your fairy godmother. I am here to get you to the royal bed. Really? I never knew I had a fairy mother. But how I get through the boat? I don't have anything to wear. You don't worry about that, my child. And so, in just few minutes, Cinderella was ready for the royal ball, as she thanked to fairy godmother and godbrother. The child cheered. She received a word of caution from her fairy godmother. Remember to be back home at 12, otherwise the spell will square. Soon Cinderella arrived at the palace. As she entered the great ballroom, everyone turned to look who the beautiful maiden were. Nobody could recognize her, not even her own stepmother and stepsisters. Prince Charming walked to her. May I have this dance with you? Yes, your highness. And so Cinderella and Prince Charming danced together throughout the evening, till Cinderella heard the clock strike. Fairy godmother's words come back to her. She needed to get out of there before the clock struck 12. Without saying a word, she tore away from the prince's grasp and ran out of the palace. The prince ran after her. Wait, what is wrong? Why are you running? I don't even know your name. But Cinderella dared not wait or even look back. Her beautiful girl were already turning into rats again. Her hair were coming loose from the perfect bun that fairy godmother had made for her. She didn't even stop when one of the glass slippers came off her foot and fell impaled the right way. She ran out of the palace gate and vanished into the darkness on the path that led to her home. One home, she went back to polishing the shoes that had been given to her, decided never to speak to anyone about the ball. A few days later, two men from Palace showed up their door. The lady that Prince Charming fell in love with left behind her glass slipper at the royal boy. The prince believes that such a beautiful slipper could fit only his beloved, and so we are asking all the girls in the village to try this slipper. The one whom it fits would be the one Prince will marry. If you have any girls in the house, please ask them to try this slipper. Oh, yes, I am sure it were one of my dogs. The slipper would fit one of them, and so, but the step-sisters tried to fit their foot into the slipper one by one. They pushed and pushed, that couldn't get their foot in. Looked like It wasn't your daughter after all. Is there any other young lady in your house? No, there isn't. You can leave. As the king's man made ready to leave, suddenly the door of the house was thrown open, and Prince Charming himself stood there. Who is this beautiful girl in the upstairs window? Madam, you have lied to us. I demand that the girl be called forth and try to sleep her. Yes, yes, but she is only the servant's girl. Nevertheless, Cinderella, come down here at once. Yes, stepmother. The moment Prince Charming saw Cinderella, he knew he had found his beloved. He took the slipper from the king's man and slipped it on to her foot himself. The slipper fit perfectly in the moment. Cinderella was once again transformed into the beautiful maiden from the light of the ball. Prince Charming took her to the palace with him. He ordered the stepmother and stepsisters be punished for lying to the king's man and treating Cinderella so badly and rudely. But being the kind-hearted person that she was, Cinderella asked for them and be forgiven. The prince fell in love with her even more for her generosity, and they lived happily ever after. Well, dear, how wonderful is it is to forgive people. Thank you for telling me the story. I will tell it to Ron too. I am sure he will like it. Okay, shall we go to home now? I think it's getting late.